Welcome, everyone. It's time for another Total Image Woman of the Week interview. We have a very, very special guest and fun guest today. So if you're someone who's been struggling a little bit with the whole peace and joy and contentment, and, you know, the past year has been so wacky for so many people and just taking such a toll on so many people's inner well-being, that if that's the case, this is a great interview for you to listen to, because my guest knows all about that stuff and can help you in many different levels. And we're going to chat about all of that today. So I met, and Celeste is here. Hello, Celeste. I met Julie when we were involved in a business, it's kind of complicated, business coaching thing, I'll call it, because it's too complicated otherwise to explain what it is. And we just connected through all of that. It's been very fun getting to know her and seeing more about what she does. Her website is beautiful. Wait till you hear more about that. But I was also incredibly intrigued by what she offers to women, and, well, I guess men too, but mostly women. And so I wanted to share it with all of you. And I see Carol is watching as well, so welcome, Carol. And so I want to introduce you to Julie Hannon. And she is a shaman and healer and a coach and all of that. And the very first thing I want to do, Julie, first of all, is to welcome you. And secondly, to say, what is shamanic healing? Because I know people sometimes have a vague idea, but don't always totally get what it is. So welcome, and tell us a little bit about you and what that means.
Thanks, Ginger. Thanks for having me. What it means to be a shamanic healer is to work in the world of energy. It was funny. I brought my phone today, not for the phone part, but to say that shamanic healing is about upgrading your operating system. So often, how often does your phone upgrade? How often do you get a new operating system? And once that operating system happens, all the apps are done. You can't get the old window. You can't get any of it. And how does it happen? In the night while you're sleeping, or when you're plugged into the energy source, or all those different ways, and you know that it's happened. That's what shamanic healing is. It's working in that energy field for you, to upgrade your own operating system. It's also a place I love to do this. Ginger and I had tried to do this outside, but the light's not quite right at sunset here. It's also about reconnecting to the natural world. So shamanic practitioners, or people who walk a shamanic spiritual path, know that all of the world is animated, and they connect to spirit through nature. So it's very much about connecting to the natural world. And in this time, especially, so much of us spend so much time doing this, and I'm so grateful for this and the ways we can connect to each other. And we need to be outside with the trees and to plug ourselves in to restore our own humanity, really, to restore our sense of being connected to everything.
Yes, and what a great time as we go into spring to be thinking about doing that. It's actually got almost a little, not a summery feel out there, but muggier out there than it's been in probably since last October. So it's like, whoa, this is a complete change.
For sure.
And a sense of feeling. And I love that connection to the phone. What I was thinking was about upgrading your operating system is that one of the things they'll always say is it kind of gets some of the bugs out.
That's right.
And so I thought, well, that's what we can do, is we can connect in with Julie and help to get some of those bugs out that have been really infiltrating our inner lives and our energy over the past year, maybe even
before that. Right. Yeah. And so much of what's happened in COVID for people is some of that stuff, those old programs, those old trauma programs, those old stress programs, places of deep anxiety that we've sort of stuffed away, or places where we thought we had control, but actually we never really did. Those got stirred up, like stirring up the bottom of the soup, or stirring up like what's buried under there that wants to be healed. And so in this time, of this really fast-paced time that's sort of slowed down, it also has kicked up a lot for healing that wants to. Sometimes it's bugs, and sometimes it's just old programs that are completely out of date, that like they don't work in the 21st century. It's time to get a new, I'm just going to say again, to get a new download, but that same kind of way. Yeah.
So how is it that you support people in doing this? It's not like woo-woo magic. You have a system I would assume, for being able to walk people through this upgrade. So tell us bit about how that
So,
happens.
so at this point, there's lots of different ways I do it. It used to be that I did it sort of 2 or 3 ways. One was private sessions, like having a private session, and my practice has always been half over the phone. So that's because energy doesn't know time or distance. Apple can send me a thing from Cupertino right now, wherever I am on the world. Um, and so there was individual private sessions. Then there's taking a deeper dive in a journey that is a 4 weekend journey over a certain amount of time, where we really explore the healings and have a spiritual, what do I even want to say? Oh, I even wrote it down so I could say it in a beautiful way. It's the medicine wheel. It's really offering a program that helps to support you in your spiritual growth and finding new possibilities and seeing new maps. So we really have this place where we see we can only see what we believe. And when we change our beliefs a little bit, there's more possibilities and more avenues open to us. So that was the second way. And I still do both of those things. And now since all of this, I have a Zoom circle every week that people can tap into to journey. And journeying is one of the ways that shamanic journeying and guided journeying or meditation is one of the ways that gives us tools to enter the spirit world ourselves and to really connect and discover our own power again and rediscover that and explore that. And it's a really beautiful group that comes together on Thursdays from 10:30 to noon, and you can drop into one or subscribe to a month, but it's a really, really special place to connect, and a place that's consistent in a time of inconsistency.
Yes, which is so important to have those places where you can go and it's a safe place to be, and it happens on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So in those healing sessions, you're doing meditation. Like, what are some of the other things that you do to help people go deeper?
One of the things that I do is do breath work to help them calm and reset their fight or flight. So that resetting fight or flight is part of my practice, always has been. And right now, everybody gets sort of, I should say, even before this, Westerners are pretty much triggered, and humans don't know biologically how to turn that fight or flight off unless you've killed something really like if you've been attacked by a bear and survived, then your system resets. But most of us thankfully don't have that experience. So learning how to reset your fight or flight is part of what I teach and offer. And I do that I also have started a Sacred Sunday guided meditation that's on Facebook every week. So I'm a heart math coach and mentor. So part of the connecting to your heart, connecting to your breath, slowing down, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, all these different little tips and tools. And if you wanted to learn more about that, people can, of course, there'll be a link in the thing to sign up for a free journey, complimentary, I guess I shouldn't say free, Complimentary Journey Toolkit, which will teach you some of these things about how to really enter the sacred space, how to drop into stillness so that you can reflect back beauty.
Yes.
And see that. And part of, I sit here with you, Ginger, and there is a way of taking what we create on the outside, the outer beauty, to the inside. Mm-hmm. And I've come to a place in my life, I'm getting goosebumps. I've come to a place in my life where I'm starting to allow the outside and the inside to match more consistently, to own the place of, here I am, and this, and I'm 55, and this is who I am, and this is how I wrap myself, and this is how I present inner peace, joy, and wellness in a way that you can see it when you meet me, not just know it from closing your eyes and going inside with me.
I also love that you offer so many different ways that people can tap into what you have to offer, because I can speak from my own experience, but I think there are a lot of people out there who relate to this, and that is that, we know, oh yeah, we could do breath work. Oh yeah, we could meditate. Oh yeah, but you know what? We go, oh yeah, I don't have time for that today. Oh yeah, I don't have time for that today. And knowing that there's a place where you can go and okay, this is my time. I'm accountable because I said I would show up, and I can do it with other people, which makes it more appealing and fun, and maybe even a little bit more, a little bit deeper, because you can see how other people are connecting as well. I think there's that energy of the group that makes a big difference as well.
Yes, for sure. And we need each other together. We need each other, and we need to be together. And so all of the work that I've been doing on Zoom and Facebook Live and all that, my theme for the year has been connecting to love while distancing. Yes. So even if we're, those of you who don't know, if you know Ginger or me, or not both of us, we actually live 5 miles apart, 3 miles apart, and here we are on Zoom connecting. And we actually haven't met in person. Funny thing, I just realized.
Isn't
So
that funny?
but we're connected,
Yes.
and we've really enjoyed sharing some time together in this way. And so showing up, it's so beautiful, Ginger, the way you said that accountability to show up for the circle
Mhm.
and to know that it's there consistently, and to know that we're going to step into the sacred space together every week lets your soul and your whole spirit and your operating system say, oh, I'm going to get an upgrade this week. I'm going to clear anything that came up this week, or I'm going to show up for because some of it is magic, right? So I'm going to show up for the magic and that nurturing that I need in that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Celeste, another Carol is here. She says, please say a big hello to Julie for me. Oh, Carol Dlugi, you know Carol.
Ah, Carol, hello. Long time no see. That's so fun.
And
Intersections of communities.
Celeste says your scarf is beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
It was my mama's. So I'm inviting my heritage here today.
I love it. I love it. Yes. Yes. That's beautiful. So let's back up for a second. You tell us how, because usually I find this out in the beginning, but I really had to get into what is shamanic healing first. So tell me a little bit about how long you've been doing this and what you did before. What brought you to do
that's
this?
such a good question. So I have many degrees in psychology because people was always my thing. Loving people, and had lots of missions about that. And actually, at some point, I decided I was going to go to graduate school to get my PhD because I always wanted to be a doctor, and was pre-med undergrad. And in that process, I didn't get into PhD school the first time around. So I went and explored a little bit more and tried some different things and decided I better check it out before I invest in that. And I was working in human resources. And that went on for quite a while. Actually, I did go to grad school at Columbia University, and then I came back and worked in human resources in biotech, and sort of did that play of enjoying the medicine part and still getting to be with people. And then I loved my work, but I wasn't loving my life. I was having that burnout. I was really, really burnt out. I was seeing my kids an hour to an hour and a half a day, and had been in charge of restructuring for my company, for this company that I built. I'd been in charge of it for a couple of years, and I couldn't bear another summer of layoffs. And I took a break. I just decided I was going to take the summer off and decide what to do next. And I had no idea. I had been trying for 2 years, but my kids were little. And into that space, someone handed me a book about shamanism.
Oh my goodness.
And when I was a younger woman before kids, I had studied Native American shamanism, and I've been studying yoga for a long time and personal growth. And then it all unfolded into a way. And when I found the School of Shamanic Healing that I then became faculty for later, I met my mom after the first class, and she said, I said, Mom, I'm finally found my medicine. I'd wished until I was 40, until I started that school, I'd always wished I'd gone to med school. And the wish, it just disappeared. It was like, this is actually the medicine of the earth, and the medicine of connecting yourself to yourself and finding your own inner healer is the medicine that I want to practice with people, and the way I want to show up for people, especially now. So important that we get connected to this place where we live called Earth, Yeah.
Isn't it amazing how we can get a sense that we're meant to do something, but we have to allow the universe to show us how that's going to show up.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened for you. And you let that in. You didn't, poo-poo it or say, no, that's not, this is the path I'm going. You just like inviting the opportunities in, which was
right.
Really
well,
amazing.
and from the work that we've done in the entrepreneur group, that it's still inviting those possibilities for me. And, I found that school in 2006. It took me 6 years to leave HR fully, right? So I have 25 years of corporate human resources background, and also worked in addictions treatment, and I've done lots of different things. We're, more than half a century old now. So I've done lots of different things. And all of that brings us to where we are today.
It's funny because for years before I became an image consultant, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I worked at MIT for a long time. And I was lucky, the job that I had, I was able to cut back my hours once I determined that I was going to be an image consultant. And what you said, it took me 6 years to leave there. Yeah. It was kind of like, maybe people leave sooner now, but back then it was a different world. And, so
right.
It was just the right time. All of a sudden, it was just the right time. And it's so funny that it was 6 years for both of us. So that's
Yeah, it's
cool.
hard for people to imagine a time before internet and
Yeah.
networking in that way and Zoom, but there was a time, and it wasn't that long ago.
There was. When I first started working at MIT, I worked on a computer that was the size of my wall here. I mean, it was huge. And there was
Wow.
one computer for like every department, every science department, one computer that served all of them. It was, I'm aging myself here, but dating
Yeah.
myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Different world, definitely different world.
Yeah.
So tell us, what is a medicine wheel journey?
Well, it is this place of going around. It's a 4-weekend journey. It's 6 months. It's a place where you shed the. What did I wrote this week? I wrote about, it's always about shedding your stories and making new maps, reclaiming what you brought here, what brought you here to Earth, to this time to live and thrive. So we get sometimes caught in our old stories or our family stories, and we first want to shed and release that, and then we step into this place, this program that really allows you to see the possibilities and the sweetness, even in the chaos, so that you can effortlessly be aligned with what you really want. And as I mentioned earlier in the conversation, we can only see what we believe. So part of it is opening to changing our perception, learning skills of how to literally change your perception. And when we change our perception, we change the world that we live in.
Wow,
So
that gave me chills. That's
yeah.
very cool.
So it's ceremony. It's 4 weekends of retreat. It's rites and initiations, not it's all those downloads to your operating system. And in that, when you join a medicine wheel, this is the first time. I usually teach 2 or 3 a year, and I haven't had one since COVID started in person. So there's one starting in the spring in East Hampton. It'll be my first one in a year. And while you're in that program, you have the weekly support of the Zoom circles if you want, and emails, and the connection to the people who are on the journey with you. So it's a super supportive time to expand into those new maps and new possibilities, so that you can really live from your center. And even as the ground is shifting beneath you, you build a foundation to reclaim your power and really step into what do you want to dream in next. And the other thing I didn't say at the very beginning of shamanic work is we're clearing the stuff, that this heavy energy or the imprints or the bugs in the program, all the different ways we talk about it. And in the shamanic realm, we're informed by the future. So our conversation that's happening today is because someone's going to tune into this later who needs to hear what you or I had to say.
Well, speaking of which, Nina Mamelson just tuned in, and she's a mutual friend of ours, who also does very deep and amazing work. And she has been one of my Total Image Women of the Week. So she's saying hi. Hi, Nina.
Hi, Nina.
Now, before we go any further here, and first of all, that was East Hampton, New York. I just want to make sure people know what state that is. So if you're in that area and you're looking to do something in person coming up later this spring, definitely check in with Julie. But the way to check in with Julie is tell us your website.
My website is innerpeaceandwellness.com, innerpeaceandwellness.com. And you can find me there. You can find me at Facebook /Julie Hannon Shaman. That's where I do my live Sunday, Sacred Sundays at 8 o'clock on Sunday morning. So you can tap in there anytime. And those are, of course, for now anyway, still on the Facebook page. So those are the 2 places to find me.
I will put all of these in the comments so people can connect with you very easily. The Sunday meditations, all they have to do is be part of your Facebook group, and they can tune into those. What time?
That's right.
What time?
It's 8 a.m. Eastern time on Sundays, every Sunday.
Great. And how long do they last?
20 minutes.
Oh,
pretty much 20 minutes. Yeah. So it's an easy commitment. It's an easy yes. A lot of people say it's the way they set their week, to just drop into that sacred place. And they're, I think, 99.9 something % of the time I'm outside somewhere. Because it is, for me, an invitation for you to go outside.
Yes, absolutely. Now, I also know on your website that you have a complimentary online course that people can take. Can you tell us a little bit about that, as a great way to kind of find out a little bit more about what you do?
Yeah, so that's there's a button that says sign up for your journey toolkit. And that's what that is. It takes you through a 10-day process to connect to your breath, to connect to your heart. And actually, it starts with setting a heart-focused intention is the first meditation. Each one of the pieces is a standalone piece. You could just do that and not do anything else. You could jump ahead to the last one. They come in order. You get 4 or 5 emails in a row, and it's just a really nice way to experience. And actually, the first video is done on the back porch where I had intended to be with you today. So you'll get to go on a little journey with me in different environments as well. And like what I say in there and what I say to you here is that it's always good to go with a guide. So it's nice to explore some of these new domains with a guide, to close your eyes and let someone take you somewhere magical. Or to open your eyes and watch where I am on the beach or wherever I am. You'll see surprises.
And going with a guide for the reasons you've mentioned, and also because, and I know we've touched on this a little bit, but sometimes, and I say this when I'm talking about fashion with people too, but sometimes we don't know what we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can help to expand someone's awareness and take them deeper in a way that they might not be able, probably can't do on their own. And so that's why it seems like, I love that you have several ways that people can connect in with you, mm-hmm. because they can get a taste of what you do, and also you can really help them to feel the power of the shamanic healing, which they can get so far on their own, but I would think they would need somebody like you to take them to the next level.
Yes. Yeah. And part of, what one of my mentors always like to say is that, we can't see what's in our shadow. If we could see it, yes, it wouldn't be in our shadow anymore. We would just look there. And so there's lots of work that we can do on our own and with guides in all of these ways. And it's really helpful to come together and have support. We're humans, it used to be that we would say you would go crazy if you were in solitary confinement. I think as a collective, we've done pretty well in not going completely crazy this past year. And it's time to come and connect out into the sunshine, in the spring and harvest. If you're in the southern hemisphere and you're watching this, it's a time of harvest. So we've done the do. We've been here a year.
Yes. And now, things are, hopefully we've got things a little bit under control, and we all know, we understand more about it all too. So mm-hmm. Be safe out there in the world. And So is there anything else that you can tell us that maybe I didn't know to ask about what you connect in with people, or how you can support them, any of those kinds of things?
I guess the only other thing I would say is that these things that I'm talking about are innate for all of us. Mm-hmm. So I'm always thinking about how do I talk about what's a shaman? And when I used to teach in community ed, and I do a little introduction to shamanism for 90 minutes. And I'd say, who's a shaman? And I'd put up a slide of some people from Peru and my teachers who look just like regular folks, except for people in Peru in their Peruvian costumes, and Native American people in their costumes. And then I'd put up a picture of all your colleagues at MIT or all my colleagues in human resources, because we all have access to this world, and we forget. So a lot of this work is about remembering, and journeying or guided meditation is in fact something that we all possess the ability to do innately. And it's an aspect of our being and something we already know how to do, and we need reminding of. Yeah. So journeying, guided meditation, the Sundays is just a simple way of discovering your own power and creating new maps for yourself. Shamans, the other thing I'd say about shamanic work is that we're map makers. So like vision boards, how do you want to create and live into that vision? And how do you want to change your perspective to see new possibilities when you feel really stuck? I guess that's what I'd say. Yeah.
So beautiful. And with the Thursday circles that you have, they can easily find that on your website if somebody wants to go and check that out.
That's a really good question. So in the links, I gave you a link that's to a special introduction circle page that's all about the circle. So that'll be in the links. If you go onto my website, so far it's going to fix, but right now you have to go to the calendar, and that's where you find on the calendar, it'll say Thursday Circle, and there's links to join there. So that's how you find it on my website. And in the links here in this video, there'll be a link that says Sacred Circle with Julie.
Perfect.
Easy peasy. Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure everybody knew all the ways that they could connect in with you.
Yeah.
And then I love to just kind of, because what I do is sort of fashion, is not sort of, it is fashion related.
Yep.
And it can be fun. And I know you enjoy fashion. Look at your beautiful, colorful scarf.
Yep.
Tell us, like, what part of fashion, or what is something that you love to wear that it just makes you really happy, that you feel like you really have to surround yourself with?
Gosh, it changes every day. And you said it, Ginger told me the question, a sneak preview of the question right at the beginning. And I was thinking of this card I have on my mirror that says, dress yourself as if you were a gift. And
Oh,
so sometimes it's earrings. I love earrings, but I used to not love them as much as I do on Zoom because now I get to see them more. So
yeah.
I love earrings, and like you have some nice stones around your neck. So I love wearing stones. They make me super happy. For the same reason I love rings, because I get to see them. So for me, the things that I love are color. I
Yeah.
love to bring color. So I often wear a scarf that's got a lot of color, or something fun, just something fun to add to the wardrobe. So if I've had my website for more than 10 years, Inner Peace and Wellness. And if I could put a little carrot in the website address, it would be Inner Peace, Joy, and Wellness, because I like to wear something that brings me joy.
Yes.
So it's beauty and joy for me, something joyful.
I am so going to steal that dress yourself as if you were a gift, because that is so perfect. It's so perfect.
Yes.
That's really, I always think of it as we're each a work of art. We all each are a gift to ourselves.
Yeah.
And we deserve to package that gift in a way that brings us great joy.
Yes, whatever that is. Somebody gave me a fantastic fuzzy onesie during COVID. And once or twice, I've just zipped up my onesie and put on a very pretty scarf around it. And nobody's the wiser. But I'm happy, like, I'm in joy today. I'm in my onesie and I'm going to work with a beautiful scarf.
I love it. That is so great. That is
Yeah.
so great. Julie, it's been really wonderful having you on here and sharing all your gifts, which are very deep. And I hope that people will go and check out all you have to offer. I will put all the links in the comments so they can find you easily. But thank you so much for being such a special guest.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Ginger. It's been a delight to be here with you and to work with you on your special magic that you offer in closets and design and everything else that you've introduced me to. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, everybody, I will be back again next week with another Total Image Woman of the Week. In the meantime, I hope you have a really relaxing, lovely, peaceful, delicious, and just heart-centering weekend. And I will see you back here next week.
Thanks, Ginger. Thanks, everybody. Nice to meet you all.